Hello, I'm the Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson. I serve as minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the South Fork in Bridgehampton, New York, way out on the tip of Long Island. And I'm one of your UUA co-moderators. I have brown skin, black and white hair. I'm wearing a purple shirt, and I use she, her pronouns. During this General Assembly, speakers will be introducing ourselves with a visual description. We do visual descriptions to help enhance the experience of attendees with low or no vision. We'll also be sharing our pronouns. This is to help all of us refer to each other by our correct pronouns.
And I'm Bill Young, the other co-moderator. I'm an older white man with gray hair and wearing glasses and a blue and white shirt. My pronouns are he and him. Together, we are the co-moderators and chief governance officers of your Unitarian Universalist Association. And after months of planning, preparation, and more Zoom meetings than anyone should have to count, we are delighted to call this 65th General Assembly to order with gratitude for all who are gathered online, in Louisville later this week, and our satellite sites.
We are so glad that you are joining us today. Today's business agenda includes in the following order: welcome from your co-moderators and UUA president, business review and voting process, presenting the rules of procedure, introduction of our 5 GA care teams, which includes systemic justice team, chaplains, conflict and covenant team, accessibility and inclusion team, and finally, the Hoover app moderation team. After that, introductions of reports from the UU Service Committee and the UU Women's Federation. Closing words, and we'll conclude with some announcements before recess. Let's move to our first agenda item, a welcome from our co-moderator, Bill Young. Bill?
Thank you, Kimberly. General Assembly is one of the rare moments when our full association gathers not only to conduct business, but to practice the covenantal governance that helps shape our shared future. We are an association of congregations and communities, diverse in geography, experience, perspective, and practice, yet joined by shared commitments and our shared values. Over these next few days, we come together as Unitarian Universalists to do the democratic work of discernment, listening deeply, speaking honestly, and seeking together the wisdom needed for this moment. This gathering is one of the clearest expressions of who we are as a religious movement, a people who believe that how we make decisions matters, that our values call us into relationship with one another, and that democratic process grounded in covenant is itself part of our shared spiritual practice. Over the course of this General Assembly, we will deliberate, learn, vote, and reflect together, guided by our commitment to one another and to the future we are helping to shape. And now it is my pleasure to welcome our UUA president, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt.
Beloveds, I am the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, and it remains my privilege to serve as your UUA president. I'm a fat, queer, Afro-Latina, cisgender woman with caramel-colored skin, glasses, and today my locks are pulled back behind my shoulders. I'm wearing a multicolored patterned dress in blues and whites and oranges. My pronouns are she and her. You may know that we are trying many new things this year, and we appreciate you living into the possibility of change with us. We will rely on your open-mindedness, your feedback, and your recommendations to shape General Assemblies into the future. As has become our tradition, I want to ask you to bring the image of an empty chair to your mind, to your heart. This is a meaningful symbol that we come back to year after year as we name and honor those leaders who have joined the ancestors this year. We began the tradition of adding an empty chair to our chancel when our beloved former moderator, Jim Key, died in 2017. And since that time, we have lost two more beloved moderators, Alandria Williams and Denny Davidoff of blessed memory. There are many more leaders who have died this year, and I would invite you to name them now. Feel free to use our chat spaces to share memories, appreciation, and love for them. And I would encourage you, muted of course, to speak their names aloud. In that spirit of recognition and honor, I want to remind us that we will not be holding a service of the living tradition this year in response to requests from our religious professionals. Instead, we will celebrate their milestones and losses next year in San Jose with opportunities to participate both virtually and on site. This plan for an SLT during a multi-platform year, however, does not lessen the loss of those who have died since we last gathered. So I want to invite you to please use the QR code on your screen to access the photos, names, and spirits of those leaders we have lost in the past year. We will, of course, honor their memories once again when we gather in 2027. Will you pray with me? God of many names and one abundant love, Spirit of all that is best in our humanity, expand our hearts as we remember those who have given the best of their faithfulness in support of our living tradition. Help us to turn to one another in both grief and gratitude as we honor how far we have come by their labors. As they join the ranks of our spiritual ancestors, let us turn to them as guideposts for our own journeys. May we honor their dreams with our living, and may we meet the moment courageously together in their names. Amen. Ashe, and blessed be.
Thank you, Sophia. And thank you for being here. I am not going to list everything that has made this year hard. You already know that. And honestly, for a lot of us, this time of year is just always a lot. Congregational years are wrapping up. Leaders and staff are transitioning. And if you have kids in your household, you're probably in the middle of that chaotic school to summer shift. So the fact that you carved out time for one more thing matters, because us showing up together matters. You may have heard that the Department of Defense recently removed Unitarian Universalism from its list of recognized religions, and that the White House has labeled pro-trans ideology a domestic terror threat to national security. We know that one of the ways authoritarian regimes works is by isolating us, making us feel small, scattered, and off balance. These moves are designed to do exactly that. Your being here is a direct pushback against it. It says we are still here. It says we will not be erased. It says, we will not be intimidated out of fighting for the rights and dignity of every single one of us. So here's what we're doing this week. We will make some decisions together about bylaws and task forces. We will elect some new leaders and offer our thanks to leaders who are ending their service. We will discuss and decide where we are called to bear witness and to act in this moment. And we will hear about some of the good work Unitarian Universalists like you are doing on behalf of our faith. Our being together matters. Your being here matters. And we are grateful for it. Now let's hear from our governance manager, Stephanie Carey Marin, with a review of our business items and voting process for General Assembly.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Carey Marin, the UUA's governance manager. I'm a white woman in my 40s with short brown curly hair and dark rimmed glasses. I'm wearing a dark green v-neck blouse and I'm sitting in front of a purple background. Thank you for serving as a delegate at GA 2026. Truly, delegates are at the heart of how our association makes decisions together. You help shape the future of our shared work, and we're really glad you're here. I hope the following overview helps you feel ready, confident, and comfortable participating in GA business this year. Participating is actually pretty straightforward. Everything related to delegate participation happens through the GA delegate platform at delegate.uua.org. Once your delegate credentials have been assigned, either by your congregation or through your role as a religious professional, you can log in from any device with internet access, like your laptop, a tablet, or even your smartphone. Think of the delegate platform as your GA business home base. That's where you'll find the final agenda and all business materials, links to ballots, important dates and deadlines, and the Zoom link for live discussions during general sessions. If at any point during GA you find yourself wondering, wait, where do I go for this? The answer is probably the delegate platform. Now, one thing that surprises a lot of first-time delegates is that GA business doesn't begin when the General Assembly starts. By the time we gather together, quite a bit has already happened, and that's intentional. The process is designed to give delegates time to read materials, reflect, talk things over with others, and come prepared to make informed decisions. So, here's a quick look at what's already happened leading up to GA. On May 15th, the final business agenda was released. That included this year's proposed business resolution, proposed bylaw amendment, and the rules of procedure. That was also the day the delegate platform opened and delegates could begin submitting amendments. This year, no amendments were submitted by the deadline. Since then, an educational mini-assembly took place, and lively discussions continue to happen on the discussion platform discuss.uua.org, giving delegates opportunities to engage with material and hear different perspectives before arriving at GA. Delegates also submitted Actions of Immediate Witness, or AIWs, through the Commission on Social Witness process. Now, let's get to what happens during GA itself. Business takes place during the general sessions, which are live streamed on uua.org. Registered GA participants can also watch through the Whova app. And if you're attending as a business-only delegate, you can still fully participate. You'll watch the live stream and use the delegate platform to discuss and vote alongside all other delegates. Most general sessions include both discussion and voting. Typically, items are discussed during the session, and then a ballot opens afterwards for delegates to vote on those items. One important tip: don't wait until the last minute to vote. Each ballot closes at the specific date and time listed in the rules of procedure, and once voting closes, it's closed. So definitely keep an eye on those deadlines. One of the most meaningful parts of being a delegate is the discussion itself. This is where delegates get to share perspectives, raise concerns, ask questions, and help each other think more deeply about the issues before us. Those discussions are facilitated by the moderation team, sometimes called the Mod Squad. That team includes the UUA co-moderators, members of the Board of Trustees, and our parliamentarian and legal counsel. Their role is to help discussions stay fair, focused, respectful, and moving forward. And all of it, is guided by the rules of procedure. The rules are there to help us spend our time discussing the actual issues in front of us, instead of getting tangled up in process questions, while also making sure delegates have a fair opportunity to participate. Here's how speaking works during discussion. For each business item, there are 2 speaker lines: the pro line for delegates speaking in support of an item, and the con line for delegates speaking about concerns or reasons they may not support it. At the beginning of discussion on each agenda item, there will be about 3 minutes for delegates to talk informally with one another in the online chat rooms. That's also the time when delegates who want to speak should join either the pro or con line. Joining a speaker line, it's actually pretty simple. First, enter the Zoom meeting using the link in the delegate platform. Then use the Zoom chat to let the tellers know whether you'd like to speak pro or con. And then, once you're recognized by the moderator, you'll speak to the assembly. When you begin speaking, please introduce yourself with your name, congregation, and a brief visual description for accessibility, just like I did at the beginning of this video. As in previous years, we'll be using something called Progressive Stack to help determine the order of speakers. Progressive Stack is one way we work to ensure that voices from marginalized communities have greater opportunity to be heard in discussion. The first 2 speaking slots in both the pro and con lines are reserved for delegates who identify as Black, Indigenous, people of color, disabled, fat, transgender, non-binary, neurodivergent, or otherwise holding marginalized identities. Delegates self-select into the Progressive Stack. If you'd like to be included, simply type in the chat to the tellers, "I'm Progressive Stack," when joining the Zoom line. You do not need to explain or identify which marginalized identity you hold. Another important thing to know, preference is also given to delegates who haven't yet spoken on an item. So if you've already had a chance to speak, please give others an opportunity before joining the line again. Now, sometimes during discussion, you may have a procedural question, a clarification, or a concern that isn't really a pro or con comment. That's where the information desk comes in. You access the information desk the same way you access the speaker lines, through the Zoom chat. A teller at the information desk works with the parliamentarian and the governance manager to help answer delegate questions. And if an issue needs to be brought to the attention of the moderation team, the information desk can communicate with them in real time during the session. Finally, and this part is important, don't forget to vote. After each general session ends, ballots open in the delegate platform. Voting results are later posted there and announced during the next general session. And remember, elections for UUA boards, commissions, and committees happen on a separate election ballot, also linked through the delegate platform. We really hope this process helps participation feel meaningful and accessible and flexible. And if you run into technical issues along the way, the GA Tech team is there to help. You can reach them at gaonlinesupport@uua.org. Thank you again for serving as a delegate and for being part of General Assembly 2026 as we continue living into our inclusive and democratic processes together.
We're now moving into the rules of procedure portion of the meeting. If your heart doesn't race at the phrase rules of procedure, don't worry. Mine only does after several years in governance work. The rules of procedure are simply the shared framework that helps us conduct General Assembly business clearly, fairly, and efficiently. They outline how debate will work, how delegates may speak to business items, how motions are handled, the voting process we'll use, and the procedures that help ensure every delegate voice can participate within a process that is transparent and manageable for all of us. In short, the rules create the structure that allows all of us to deliberate together with clarity, fairness, and trust. The rules of procedure before you were published in advance for delegate review. No amendments were submitted by the deadline, so the version shared on screen via the QR code or link is the final version for consideration. Voting on adoption of the rules of procedure will take place by ballot after General Session 1 concludes. Please watch for instructions when balloting opens and be sure to cast your vote within the designated voting period. With that procedural foundation in place, we'll be ready to turn our attention to the substance of our work together throughout this General Assembly. Now, our first item of business is to adopt the rules of procedure. As I said, no proposed amendments were submitted for the rules of procedure, so you are voting on the rules as they were originally proposed by your Board of Trustees. Now I'm recognizing John Simmons, the UU Secretary.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Simmons, and I serve as your UUA Secretary. I'm a member of Murray Unitarian Universalist Church in Attleboro, Massachusetts, and I use he, him pronouns. I'm a Black man with gray hair on the sides, and I'm wearing eyeglasses and a blue-colored shirt. As we did last year, we are using digital ballots for our voting. If the ballot is on the agenda, it does not require a motion or a second.
Thank you, John. The motion to adopt the rules is not debatable. Your ballot will be available at the end of this session. We're voting on a motion to adopt the rules. Please vote yes if you are in favor of adopting the rules. Vote no if you are opposed to these rules. You may also abstain. A 2/3 vote is required for this motion to pass. The ballot will open once the general session has ended and remain open until 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Mountain, 6 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Alaska, 4 a.m. Hawaii tomorrow. Once the voting is complete, we'll validate the results. After that, we'll post them on the delegate platform and also announce them at the beginning of General Session 2 tomorrow, which is at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Alaska, and 6 a.m. Hawaii time. And now it's time for some introductions. Here's a video introducing our GA care teams.
Introduction to General Assembly 2026 Care Teams. Hello, welcome to GA. The volunteer care teams are here to help you have a positive experience. Many volunteers are here to help you during GA across a range of different areas of focus. GA care teams include chaplains, the Covenant team, accessibility and inclusion, systemic justice, and our app and chat moderators. Not sure who to reach out to? Start with GA chaplains for pastoral care, or if you aren't sure which team to ask for help, they will get you to the right team. Reach out to the Covenant team if you feel there's been a break in our event Covenant and need help seeking repair. If you need accommodation to more fully participate, The Accessibility and Inclusion team is here to assist. If you observe that something is happening that should be structurally changed for future GAs, the Systemic Justice team will record your experience and work with the UUA or our stakeholders to address the issue. Chaplains are available to GA registrants who are experiencing spiritual or physical crisis during GA.
I'm the Reverend Christina Spouty. I'm a white woman with long, curly brown hair and blue eyes, and I'm wearing a yellow Side with Love shirt and chalice necklace. I'm grateful to be leading this year's General Assembly chaplain team again. I'm a clinically trained chaplain, though I currently serve 2 of our congregations in Florida, Tri-County UUs in Summerfield and the UU congregation of Lake County in Eustis. The GA chaplains are here for you. We understand that even in the midst of all the excitement and inspiration found at our General Assemblies, life keeps moving, sometimes bringing overwhelming moments, personal struggles, or just a need for someone to listen. Whether you are grappling with a spiritual question, feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders, or simply need a moment to catch your breath, our team is here for you throughout General Assembly hours. Our team is ready to provide that compassionate presence you may be looking for. We'll listen, support you, and if needed, help connect you to ongoing care. Always remember, in this cherished community, you are not alone. If you need us, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here holding space for you with open hearts and minds. Welcome to GA. I hope your time here is filled with connection, growth, and the warmth of shared purpose.
Let us cultivate a culture of compassion and self-care as we engage in the work of building a more inclusive and equitable, beloved community. Our commitment to covenantal practices helps us navigate complex conversations with grace and understanding. The Covenant team addresses interpersonal issues that result when words and actions explicitly violate covenant, assists registrants who are in conflict and/or whose actions violate GA covenant, and provides a process for positive confrontation through mediated conversations.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kim Diana Connolly. I am honored to serve as the lead of the Covenant team at GA this year. I'm a white woman with long, dark blonde, wavy hair. I'm wearing a mustard yellow shirt that says kindness grows from within, rainbow earrings, my glasses, and a touch of lipstick, and I use she, they pronouns. My home congregation is UU Amherst in New York. I wanted to share with you a little about the Covenant team and the guiding spirit behind our General Assembly Covenant and our work as a team for you. We gather together at GA to build relationships and a beloved community, and we have a great team to assist all of us in holding covenant. By attending GA, whether in person in Kentucky or one of our wonderful satellites, or by using the online platform, we all agree to some basics in our collective covenant. These include the following: all voices matter. Inclusion is central. We stay aware of power dynamics and we support growth. Our GA covenant fosters respectful, thoughtful dialogue. But imperfection's human, so commitment to connection and maybe reconnection helps us engage with each other in grace, just like you had to do there as I was fumbling. As we're opening General Assembly, our team invites you to center love and to stay connected throughout. During GA, if you witness a harm or a failure to keep covenant, or think our team can help you, contact us or contact a chaplain. And always throughout GA and throughout life, let love be our guide in speech, in silence, and in action. With deepest love, thank you all and be well.
The Accessibility and Inclusion Team assists GA registrants with questions or concerns around accessibility and inclusion. The team strives to make GA accessible by assisting in providing accommodations for all participants.
Hello, everyone. I am Ann Burdine Jones, and I am a brown-skinned African-American female wearing a very colorful top, silver jewelry, and black eyeglasses. I am truly honored to serve as the lead for this year's Accessibility and Inclusion Team for General Assembly. This work is deeply meaningful to me, and I am grateful for the opportunity to help create a space where all can fully participate and feel a true sense of belonging. I had the honor of co-leading the Accessibility and Inclusion Team last year, and one of the highlights of that experience was not only supporting the needs and requests of attendees, but also connecting with so many incredible people along the way. Those relationships continue to inspire and ground this work. As part of this role, I had the privilege of training all General Assembly volunteers on diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, and accessibility. Those trainings are grounded in a very simple but powerful commitment that accessibility is not an add-on. It is essential to how we gather, connect, and care for one another in our community. Our team's goal this year is to ensure that General Assembly is accessible and inclusive, which means not only anticipating needs, but also remaining open and responsive in real time. We welcome ongoing conversation and feedback throughout the event because creating an inclusive experience is something we do together. This year, our team looks forward to connecting with you both virtually and in person. Please do not hesitate to reach out if we can be of service in any way. We are here for you, and we are excited to help make this year's General Assembly a meaningful and accessible experience for all. Be well, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.
The Systemic Justice Team assists GA registrants from currently and/or historically marginalized communities in creating structural change by providing access and advocacy to challenge and change oppressive structures and/or systems.
My name is Michael Solwasser. I'm a white male with long brown hair, gray beard, and mustache. I'm wearing dark green, thick-rimmed glasses and a black and gray striped shirt. My role on the Systemic Justice Team is to document your experiences of and concerns about any systemic failures to uphold justice at General Assembly. Even if unintentional, if the manner or structure of General Assembly leads to harm, I want to know about it. Whether or not I can undo the harm, I am tasked with making sure that those who plan, organize, and execute the General Assembly do things differently at future gatherings to eliminate or at a minimum mitigate future harm. As a former member and co-chair of the Journey Toward Wholeness Transformation Committee, co-founder of the Accessibility and Inclusion Ministry Program, and co-lead of the first Systemic Justice Team to operate in multiple capacities to shape the work of Unitarian Universalists who strive to create justice. I'm especially honored given that the value of justice occurs first in the unofficial acronym of our 6 new
I'm Reverend Mary Catherine Morin, President and Executive Officer of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. I'm an older white woman with gray shoulder-length hair. I'm wearing pink glasses and a pink scarf over a gray top. I hope this General Assembly inspires you to act on your creative visions for the future as we collectively work toward a better world for all. Friends, now is the time to ignite our moral imagination. In the face of rising authoritarianism, it takes real effort not to give in to despair. Yet together, we choose courage over compliance, and we demonstrate what solidarity looks like in action. People show up for one another, build systems of care where none existed before, and refuse to let fear have the final word. UUSC acts in solidarity with global justice movements by directing more funding to the grassroots. In fact, over the last months, UUSC has moved an additional $1.5 million through our community protection grants. UUSC also supported in the last year UU religious professionals who are answering the call to travel to the Twin Cities to oppose ISIS occupation there. We continue to connect congregations to our partner Pink Haven, accompanying trans people and their families to relocate and access health care. Our shared moral imagination drives us to confront today's intersecting crises in pursuit of a more equitable world. Since UUSC is funded by individuals like you rather than governments or corporations, we can act decisively and nimbly to support global resistance. Our shared moral imagination insists that the world's problems are not too big to confront. When people of faith and conscience like us come together in solidarity, more just, more caring systems become a reality. I'm incredibly grateful to UUSC members who continue to support our vital work. And I invite all of you who have not yet joined us in action to learn more at our website, uusc.org. Also, find out more about us on the videos that are available on the GA app. As an independent, nonprofit organization that receives no federal funding, we truly are powered by individuals like you. Please act in solidarity with global justice movement and contribute what you can to our collective efforts. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ann Wiesner, and I'm the director of the Unitarian Universalist Women's Federation. We are happy to be here and excited to share with you some of the highlights for us from 2025. We are a community where members, affiliates, and supporters gain new skills and move into action to disrupt, unlearn, and heal the harms caused by white supremacist patriarchy. We are a political home that feels safe and bold, thoughtful and dynamic, humble and courageous.
Hello, my name is Antoinette Holloman, and I'm the Membership and Community Engagement Specialist. My role is to support our community through programming and outreach, as well as bring spiritual grounding to all the work we do. We connect our participants with organizations and resources on the ground in their home communities. We offer tools and ideas that deepen skills, sharpen strategy, and build power. We recognize that the relationships we are building now will be the foundation for the work we continue to do in the future.
Hi, I'm Candace. I'm the Community Engagement and Communication Specialist here at the Unitarian Universalist Women's Federation. I lead our communications, manage social media, and help create programs and campaigns that connect our members, uplift Women Plus, and advance gender justice. I bring our work to life through storytelling, digital media, and programming that connects our communities across the country and the movement.
That was really quick. That's because we're doing things a little differently this year. These were just brief teaser videos to give you a taste of what you'll learn when you watch the full-length reports. The full-length reports can be found by scanning the QR code to the link on your screen, scanning the QR code, or going to the link on your screen. We really encourage you to watch them, learn about the important and often life-saving work both organizations are doing. We're going to leave those up just a few more seconds. Okay, let's move on to process observations. Please welcome two members of the UUA Board of Trustees, the Reverend Justine Sullivan and co-financial advisor Chris Chappell, who will tell us what we can expect from process observation this year.
Hello, I'm Chris Chappell, a member of the Board of Trustees and co-financial advisor. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a white woman in my early 50s with brown hair swept to one side. I'm wearing glasses with green, blue, and red gradient frames with a navy blazer over a rose-colored top.
And I'm the Reverend Justine Sullivan, member of the Board of Trustees. I am a large white woman with salt and pepper hair, and I'm wearing a bright blue shirt and multicolored glasses. At this year's General Assembly, we are honored to be serving as process observers, supporting our business sessions. Our role is to help us tend to a process that is fair, inclusive, and accessible for all delegates. We will be paying attention to a small number of things, like how we are sharing time and voice, whether a diversity of perspectives is being heard, and how accessible the process feels for participants. At the end of each business session, we will offer a brief reaction on what we have noticed, including both what is working well and where adjustments may help, so that we can continue to strengthen our shared work as we move through this General Assembly.
The business sessions are led by the co-moderators and members of the Mod Squad, who are responsible for guiding the Assembly through its deliberations. We, as process observers, support this work by offering reflections on the process, but we do not direct the meeting or participate in decision-making. We do not take positions on business items, and we do not evaluate individual speakers. Following General Assembly, we will share a brief summary of our observations to help inform planning for future GAs. And for the first time, we're also offering GA attendees, both delegates and non-delegates, an opportunity to share their own reflections as we continue to learn together how best to carry out our work in community. Please scan the QR code on your screen or go to the link shown for this survey. Let's keep this on screen for another 15 seconds before we move on.
And now, here's Justine again with closing words.
Hello, friends. I'm the Reverend Justine Sullivan. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm a large white woman with brown and gray hair wearing a blue and white shirt with multicolored glasses. I'm a member of our UUA board, and I currently serve our UU congregation in San Diego as a developmental minister. Recently, I was at a goodbye gathering for a member of our music staff who is leaving to pursue additional training. And she's fairly new to Unitarian Universalism. And she told a story about a friend asking her that question that so many of us hear: what do Unitarian Universalists believe? I leaned in more closely to hear how a newcomer to our faith would respond to that question. Well, they believe in each other. I love that answer. We believe in each other. We believe that how we are together and how we show up in the world, that is what matters most, not any beliefs we might profess. And that's why we're here at General Assembly and why we keep showing up, even when it feels hard, even when we're not entirely certain what the next most important thing is. We keep showing up to take up the business of our association, to live our faith and our values out in the world to help heal this aching, beautiful world. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your passion, your ideas, your wisdom, yourselves. Rest well, beloved, and let us return refreshed tomorrow and continue on this path together. Blessed be, and amen.
Friends, our time together today is almost over. We want to thank you for bearing with all of the technical troubles, the things we may have forgotten, the challenges that we are having doing a thing for the first time, whether it's getting into Whova or getting on Zoom or figuring out the links in the chat or the QR codes on the screen or just plain where to be putting your attention. Thank you for your grace and for your patience. We have a couple more days together. We will need all of the grace and all of the patience. Before we recess for this day, I have a few announcements for you. Today's ballot is available on the delegate platform. It includes rules of procedure. This is a vote to approve the rules of procedure for this General Assembly. That ballot will be available until 9 a.m. Eastern. That is 8 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Mountain, 6 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Alaska, and 3 a.m. Hawaii time tomorrow. Very early Hawaii time. Thank you so much. Once voting on the rules of procedure is complete, we'll validate the results, post them on the delegate platform, and announce them at the beginning of General Assembly 2, General Session 2. We also want to let you know that we have extended the closing date and time for the election ballot. That new date and time is tomorrow, Monday, June 15th, at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, 1 p.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Alaska, 10 a.m. Hawaii time. So you'll have a few extra hours to record your vote to elect members of the Board of Review, Board of Trustees, Commission on Appraisal, Nominating Committee, and Presidential Search Committee. Now, there being no further business to come before us today, and in accordance with the schedule set forth in your program book, I declare that the first general session of General Assembly 2026 shall remain in recess until 6 a.m. Hawaii time tomorrow, 8 a.m. Alaska, 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. See you then.